I'm Samm Henshaw. Hi, I'm 28 years old. I live in London. Um, I am a singer-songwriter, and I recently dropped an album called Untidy Soul, and I think it's pretty good.
It is very good.
I just need you near me. With you, it's easier to get by. Like blue skies on a Sunday morning. I know that heaven's on our side.
Congratulations on the release. I know this is like your first full release in like the 7 years you've been making music, right? So how has life looked like since the album came out?
It's been pretty cool. People are really nice when you drop an album. Actually, it's very unusual. I didn't know. Like everyone wants to give you stuff, and everyone's like really lovely. And yeah, people are really cool. It's been great. I'm super excited that it's like sort of received. It's been given the reception it's been given. I'm very much. I feel very sort of honored and like privileged to like for people to like it the way that they have and to even have like been able to put it out after such a long period of time. So yeah, it's great. I feel great.
Yeah, and you've been playing some shows too, right? How has that been going?
Uh, yeah, it's been cool. That's like my thing. I love doing shows, and so it's been amazing being able to like put the creatives together for the shows, being able to travel and just play with my friends. Like that's we've been doing it for 7 years now, so to be able to still be able to like do it is a blessing, and it's great, and the fact that people show up is amazing. That's always really weird to me, but like great that like people actually still show up to shows. Yeah, we recently came off a short UK run, and that was great. Sold out all the shows from what I know. So that was amazing, and yeah, I'm just feeling grateful. Honestly, just feeling grateful, thankful, and excited to keep going. I'm just excited to like keep doing stuff. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, and you were saying it's been like exciting, like bringing a whole team together for that. And there's a lot of like collaborative stuff on the album with artists like
Yeah.
Toby Nwigwe and Maverick Saver, Keon Harold. So like how is like collaborating with them? Like any like really great things about it? Any challenges that came with collaborating?
No, it was all really cool. Like, I mean, I think maybe I wouldn't say it's a challenge, but I think the only thing I kind of love and hate about technology, and I guess 2020 in particular, was like I didn't get to specifically work with, like I didn't get to sit in a room with Toby and watch him work and
Mhm.
like actually get to like physically be there and create with him. Um, so that is something that I'm like, it's like, oh, that's a bummer, isn't it? But for the most part, like Mav's a friend, Keon's a friend, so it was just very easy to. Those things were very organic, very authentic. It wasn't this over complicated process. We weren't like trying to be like, oh, who's going to be a great feature to have on this song, and then shout on at them guys. It was just like we naturally were just making music, and it came together just so organically. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm happy.
Oh, that definitely helps with the friendship. It takes a lot of the
100%,
movement out. I'm sure the email chains were like
100%.
not as long.
100%, 100%. It's like, yeah, everything just, it's great when you're working with friends. Definitely,
Mhm.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the album like feels like a collection of just like so many different types of stories that seem to all work together. So were there like any specific aspects of your life that really influenced the songs on the record?
Yeah, for sure. If I'm being perfectly honest, all of them, every single one of them had a part to play or came from a very real place. It came from a full on, most times it was like a literal experience that I had that led to those types of stories. thoughts, conversations I'd had with people, but everything was very real and very genuine and came from very real life stuff. So it was almost annoying to sit with the album like for as long as I've sat with it, because I just didn't want to keep living with a lot of those same stories, because it was such a what's the word? It just really reminded me of stuff. And yeah, after, what's it been, like 4 or 5 years of working on it, there's just certain things that's like, I'm like, I've moved on from there. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much has changed. And so, yeah, I just didn't want to sit with all of that so much anymore. But yeah, it all comes from very, very genuine real life situations.
Yeah. So I first found you through your song Broke, and then you did your sort of response song with Still Broke. I'm still what different perspective does this song bring in comparison to Broke in your own words, I guess?
Broke came from, funnily enough, I wrote Broke when I was probably my most happiest. I was in my relationship at that time. I was really happy. Like, everything was just great. I was working like mad. We were, making songs all the time, and I was definitely in like my bag in regards to like writing and stuff around that time. But I just thought I had that idea and concept of like, what if? And it was just sort of funny to me to sing a song called Broke about like not being in the best sort of like financial space. I mean, to be fair, I was fine at that time financially, but I think it was like memories of not being in the best sort of like financial space and wondering, just, it was more of like a scenario and just like, how's that going to be? But I think Still Broke came from a much more like darker and probably more real place, I'd say, as well. I had broken up with my ex at that time, and I just got dropped from my label. So, and it was literally all like the space of about a couple of weeks as well. So it all just kind of one happened right after the other. And it was just like, oh my gosh, this is like far too much to take. But yeah, it was one of those situations that kind of made me then have to reflect, sit with it, live with it, look at everything I'd gone through in my past as well, and just been like, all right, it's led to this sort of moment of wondering, is everything that that you sort of work so hard for and everything that you aim and chase, does it bring happiness in the end? Does it actually like bring you any type of fulfillment or joy in the end? And yeah, there's just a bunch of questions that I ended up asking myself, and yeah, it's like, what's the point in doing all the things that we do sometimes if I'm just gonna still end up being internally broken? So yeah.
It hits.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. It was a fun, like, I mean, obviously after all the crap that happened, it was a fun song to kind of
definitely.
like, yeah, create. So yeah.
Well, it's very cool to see like where you've come from since those moments. So since the release, are there any like specific lessons that you've learned about yourself or about like the music industry in general?
Yeah, I think I've been and I'm still learning tons about the music industry. I think when like over the past few years, it's definitely been, especially in the position I'm in now, it's been nice to like have to be put in positions where I have no choice but to learn things, even if it's just down to understanding my business and putting a show together and how that works. Like, that's been fun. So yeah, there's been tons of things, and learning about other people's roles as well in the industry and the parts that people play and stuff like that. That's been great. So yeah, it's all been a massive, wonderful lesson. I'm very even like the most stressful moments aren't that stressful. It's kind of, you kind of find some sort of excitement in like, okay, this is really intense, but I'm enjoying that. I'm now gonna gain a new skill or I'm gonna learn something now. My perspective on whatever I may have thought about this thing before has changed. So yeah, there's tons to take away from it. It's great.
That's great. So yeah, last question, I guess. So the first full album finally came out. So what is next? Do you know what is next on the?
Everyone asks me that question, and I'm kind of just like, I've got a few things that are coming. You know, we're gonna drop some more music. We're gonna tour a bunch more. We're gonna do a bunch more shows and stuff like that. And then there's just stuff that I'm doing outside of music, which I'm excited about. It's great. But for the most part, I'm just like, I'm just trying to live life. I just want to like go. I want to travel, go see some things. I feel like I've not actually been able to do that properly over the past few years. So yeah, I'm gonna go do some traveling and go gain some new experiences. And just go and do stuff. But for the most part, I'm not thinking too far ahead. I'm just kind of like, let me just live in this moment, enjoy it, and because I never do that either. So I'm just like, let me live in this moment, enjoy it, and then see what happens next.
Yeah, going with the flow. That's great.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for chatting.
Thank you.
That was so fun.